Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Kravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. On this 44th day of the Vedanta Shravana Sadhana Yagna, we are seeing this Vivekachoodamani for the 6th month now. Samadhi or absorption of mind is very easy when the mind becomes fully detached from the sense organs of perception. What makes it difficult for the mind to quieten down is its attachment to the sense organs of perception of what we want to see, hear, taste, smell, touch, and also the sense organs of action, speaking, doing, walking. So how can we attain that state of samadhi? By detaching from the sense organs is what is being spoken from these verses 373 to 378. Antastyagopahistyagaha viraktasyaiva yujyate tyajatyantarbahi sangam viraktastu mumukshayam. Antastyagaha bahihi tyagaha. Giving up the attachments within, the attachments to our thoughts, our beliefs. Bahihi tyagaha, the attachment to the sense objects through the sense organs. Viraktasya eva yujyate. Only the person who has given up these attachments is only fit for liberation, renunciation. Dispassion is required. Vairagya. Vairagya means viraga, detachment from our desires to objects, people, emotions, and thoughts. Tyajati antarbahihi sangam viraktahatu. When the virakta, the one who is free of attachments, he gives up the attachment to what is within and what is without. And mumukshaya, for the sake of liberation. Even if we are listening to a lot of Vedanta, even if we are going through many camps and doing a lot of sadhana, the final liberation can really happen when we learn to give up the attachment to our desires in the form of sense perceptions and also in the form of our hardcore unshakable beliefs in erroneous notions and thoughts and anxiety, worries. All these are different thought forms born out of beliefs. So it is very important to detach from them to attain that state of liberation. Bahistu vishayai sangam tathantaraham adibhihi virakta eva shaknoti tyaktum brahmani nishtataha. Only the virakta, the one who is dispassionate, the one who is not attached. The stories of Rama in the Ramayanam and Krishna in the Bhagavatam are to show real life examples of people who have been viraktas in their life. Even though they have been living in the world of people, objects, emotions, and thoughts, they have always remained in that state of inner detachment. Bhagistu Vishayai Sangam, the attachment to the object of sight, which is form and color, the attachment to the object of sound, which is music, hearing, conversation, talks, the attachment to the objects of smell, different types of smells, the object of taste, the tongue, taste, and the object of skin perceptions, soft, fresh, um, cool, hard or hot, whatever we may really like, comfortable, everything is an attachment. Virakta eva shaknoti tyaktum. Only the one who is dispassionate can give up this attachment from what is within, from what is without, which is all the sense objects, and what is within is aham adi bhihi. Aham means the I thought, the my thought, the mind and the intellect thoughts. Aham adi bhihi means the I thought, etc. Giving up our attachment to that. I, my, mine, I do, I enjoy, I suffer, all these thought patterns which cause attachment to something within are given up, and only for that person who has given up or renounced all this can that person be established in that Brahman, the reality. वैराग्य बोधौ पुरुषस्य पक्षिवत् पक्षौ विजानीहि विचक्षणत्वं विमुक्ति सौधाग्र लताधिरोहणं ताभ्यां विना नान्यतरेण सिद्ध्यति. Bhagavan Sri Adisankaracharya ji points out a concept which is there even in Yoga Vasishta. About Yoga Vasishta talks about karma and jnana. Here, Bhagavan Adisankaracharya says vairagya and bodha. Jnana and vairagya. Jnana means knowledge of who am I. Vairagya is withdrawal from all that is not I. The body, mind, and intellect. A detachment from what is not I. And jnana is who am I. These two, jnana, bodhau, are like the two wings of a bird. The bird cannot fly with just one wing. It requires both the wings. One is jnana, knowledge of who am I, bodha, and the other is vairagya, dispassion, or being free of attachment. How do we be free of attachment? We can, if we observe that we are attached to something, maybe it's an object, it's a person, it's a situation, or it's a thought. First, label it, name it to tame it is very important. Name it. If it is tea, I name it in my mind, I am addicted to tea, to the taste of tea. I am addicted to the sense of taste. That is naming. And then when this object is being brought to me and I begin to drink the tea, be very aware of the sensations it's causing before drinking, while drinking, and after I finish drinking. Be in that awareness without condemning it, without criticizing that action of drinking tea. It might be a habit of many years. But to get out of that habit, to get out of that attachment, first is to identify it, accept it, appreciate whatever it has given us so long, appreciate its presence now, say thank you. And when we appreciate itself, the mind completely feels fulfilled to a great extent. The more and more we appreciate, the more and more the mind feels fulfilled. And when the mind is fulfilled, it gives up on its own. One thing is to force the mind to give it up. The other thing is the mind drops it on its own. The second is very preferable. And so every day when we begin to observe this habit of drinking tea, and at one point of time, we may see that we are not able to let it go, even if we really want to. We are not able to stop it. But keep the observation, keep the contemplation of this habit, experience the feelings that it generates before, during, and after. Be with it completely and let it be. When you let something be and focus on something more interesting, then automatically the detachment happens. Vairagya bodho purushasya pakshivat. For the human being who seeks liberation, jnana and vairagya, dispassion and knowledge of the self, are like the wings of a bird. Pakshau vijanihi vichakshanatvam. Pakshivat pakshau. Like the wings of a bird. You know this through proper discrimination. What is jnana? When I discriminate between what is not the self and who am I in reality, then that is called jnana through viveka. And once we have that knowledge through this distinguishing between the I and the not I, the self and the not self, vairagya is giving up what is not I, giving up the attachments of the body, giving up the likes and dislikes of the mind, giving up the strong beliefs in the intellect, giving up my appreciation and attachment to sense objects in the world. Vairagya, vimukti. So, this is the way to climb up the palace of liberation. Vimukti, Saudha. This moksha is a lata. This liberation is like a creeper. It has climbed high above the palace. We need to climb high above, soar high above. When you want to climb somewhere, you have to leave the previous step. You have to leave the ground floor to go to the first floor. You have to leave the first floor to go to the terrace. Vimukti Saudha Agra Lata Adhya Rohanam Tabhyam Vina Na Anyatarena Siddhyati. Without this jnana and vairagya, there is no other means by which we can be liberated. Liberated means being as life. We are not now being as life. We are being as the body. We are being as the mind. We are being as the intellect. Worse, we are being as sense organs and sense pleasures. We are being as money. We are being as our relationships. We are being as our property. Dropping all these identifications, being as that self is liberation. And that liberation is possible only when we are cultivating jnana and vairagya through right discrimination or viveka. Atyanta vairagyavata samadhihi samahitasyaiva dridha prabodham prabuddha tattvasya hi bandha muktihi muktatmano nitya sukhanubhutihi. If I want to experience bliss all the time, nitya sukha anubhutihi. Nitya sukha means eternal joy, eternal bliss. It is already there, but we don't experience it all the time because we are engaged in the world outside. We are engaged in our likes and dislikes. We are engaged in the thought patterns. We are engaged in people, objects, and situations. So we don't really experience that bliss of joy that is there within. And experience that bliss at all the times is called mukti. Atmanaha mukti. Freedom of the self. How does it happen? Atyanta vairagyavataha samadhihi. Only the one who is extremely dispassionate, not connected in any way with the pleasures of the senses or the pet peeves of the mind and the pet ideas of the intellect, wanting to assert myself, wanting to be right, wanting to win in an argument, or whatever it may be that keeps me engaged with the world outside. Only such a person who is withdrawn can experience complete samadhi or absorption of the mind. Samahitasya eva dridha prabodhaha. Only the one who has acquired that state of samadhi or absorption of the mind can have a very firm knowledge. Dridha means very firm, very clear, and very steady. Knowledge means that knowledge of who am I, very steady. Prabuddha tattvasya hi bandha muktihi. Only when that prabodha or the awakening or that knowledge happens, only for that one for whom this awakening has happened, there is freedom from bondage. What is the bondage? That I go back to my thoughts, that cycle, the cyclical thoughts, patterns, the desire to fulfill them, engaging in action, experiencing the results, accumulating the impressions, having more desires, more thoughts, more words, more actions, more impressions. This is that cycle. This is the cycle of bandha. To be free of the cycle of bandha is called mukti, liberation. And it happens only for the one who is having a prabuddha tattva, the one who has clearly understood the essence of this life, the essence of this existence. Only for that mukta atmanaha, only for the one who is liberated can that person experience nitya sukha anubhutihi, the experience of eternal bliss or eternal joy happens only with liberation, only with realization of that truth. So this is a step-by-step process. Atyanta vairagyavata samadhihi. Only if there is dispassion, samadhi or absorption of mind is possible. In the state of samadhi, the mind becomes quiet. When some sense organ is pulling the mind out, or when some thought or emotion is disturbing the mind, agitating the mind again comes out and engages in the world. So to have that state of samadhi or absorption of mind, it is possible only with vairagya or withdrawal from the pleasures of the sense objects, pleasures, the contact with the body, mind, and intellect also. Only when samahitasya eva, when the mind is in samadhi only, there is a possibility for a steady understanding of the truth. Only when there is steady understanding of the truth, there is freedom from this bondage of attachments to the world. And only when there is freedom, mukti, only then can the person experience sukha anubhutihi nitya. At all times, he can experience eternal joy and bliss. Vairagyanna param sukhasya janakam pashyami vashyatmanaha tachet shuddhataratma bodha sahitam swarajya samrajya dhuk etadvaramajasra mukti yuvatehe yasmat tvamasmat param sarvatra sprihaya sadatmani sada prajnam kuru shreyase. Prajnam kuru shreyase. For your own well-being, pay attention to this self. Sarvatra asprihaya sada atmani. Sarvatra asprihaya means without any attachment to anything else, or sada atmani, at all times, in the atman, in the self. Prajnam kuru shreyase. Pay attention to it. Be prajna means prakarshena nyayate. Focusing our attention on that and trying to know that through meditation. So this verse, talks about the importance of Vairagya. Vairagyat na param sukhasya janakam pashyami vashya atmanaha. Vashya atmana means the one who has got a controlled self, one whose self, meaning sense organs, are in control of that individual. That person has got Vairagya. Vairagya means dispassion. And there is no other source of joy other than Vairagya. Tat chet, if in that case, Shuddha Tara Atmabodha Sahitam Swarajya Samrajya Dukha. In that case, when there is clear realization of the self, when there is knowledge of the self, accompanied by this Vairagya or dispassion, it brings about true sovereignty, or the true kingship is being free of any bonds, being free of any attachments. If it is a king, that king is given that kind of a situation by society, by the people. He is anointed and he is made the king, and that freedom is given from all sides. But here we are making that effort to seek that freedom for ourselves from within by not getting attached to anything, by being free of attachments without and within. So, when there is detachment and there is also knowledge of the self, what to say for such a person? He is enjoying the samrajya, the kingdom of self realization, within and without. Within him also, he is neither attached to the notion of I as the body, he is not attached to his likes and dislikes in the mind, he is not attached to the thoughts in his chitta, and he is not attached to the qualities in the buddhi also. He is free of all that. Tachet. In that case, Vishuddha Tara Atma Bodha, pure knowledge of the self, along with dispassion, then that person enjoys the great bliss, the kingdom of immortality. Etadwaram ajasra mukti yuvatehe yasmat tvam asmat param. Etadwaram, the way to this Mukti Yuvati, this young maiden called Mukti or liberation. Why that word is used is that is the joy of such an experience. A young person, this Mukti is a young woman, a beautiful woman who's compared to a beautiful woman. To enter into the palace of that great damsel is through being dispassionate both within and without, and fixing the mind on the eternal self. So, if I want liberation, if I want to be with mukti, or that very beautiful person who can give all joy in life, meaning it is a state of mind, it is not a person. If I want to be in that state of mind, the two things that are required is Vairagya. Vairagya means detachment, and Abhyasa or Jnana Abhyasa, constantly keeping my mind focused on the self, the truth, and the reality. So, to attain this, what should I do? That is the 378th verse. Asham chindi vishopameshu vishayeshu esha vishayeshveshaiva mrityokritihi tyaktva jati kulashramesh shvabhumatim abhimatim munchati durat kriya deghadavasati त्यजात्म दिशणाम प्रज्ञां कुरुष्वात्मनि त्वं द्रष्टास्य मलोपि निर्द्वय परं ब्रह्मासि यद्वस्तुतः आशां छिंदी cut asunder all my hopes and cravings for experiencing pleasures and experiencing happy situations in the future. Visha upameshu. This asha is like poison because it does not happen as I desire, but I am not able to drop the desire also. So my mind, my attention goes to those, my energy goes to those futile expectations of the future. So it is a visham. When something drags my energy out and wastes it into for no purpose, then it is poisonous. Vishayeshu esha eva mrityoho kritihi. The very objects that pull us out is a work of mrityu, is a work of death in our life. What is death? Losing my energy to no purpose is death. And that is being done by asha and other attachments to sense objects. Give up all that and give up jati, kula, ashrameshu, abhimatin, my extreme attachment or my great importance to jati, what caste, what community I belong to, jati, kula, what is my lineage, what have been my ancestors, how great they were, what were they doing in those days in the past, kula. Ashrameshu, ashrama means two types of ashramas are there. The varna and ashrama. This varna is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Give up attachment to all these four also. They are not going to help in liberation. And the four ashramas of life are Brahmacharya ashrama, Grihastha ashrama, Vanaprastha ashrama, and Sannyasa ashrama. When we are in the seat of meditation, I forget that I am a student, a brahmachari. I forget that I am a grihastha, a householder. I forget that I am going in the path of vanaprastha, one who has given up household duties and contemplating on the divine. And then I forget that I am also a sannyasa. I have given up everything. I have given up the sense of doership, sense of enjoyership, I and mine, everything I've given up. And I am a sannyasi, wearing the ochre robes. All these thoughts are given up. Jati, kula, ashrameshu, abhimatim, muncha, atidurat kriyaha. Muncha means be free of all these attachment to these concepts and notions about myself. And atidurat kriyaha. Keep actions far away. Send them far away. Every time we do some action, if I'm moving my hand in this way, I'm doing this action. In my mind, this action is registered as a seed. And even when I stop doing this action, the mind begins doing that action. And when I become in tune with it, I get into that action again. So we have to give up actions. Kriyaha. Dehadau vasati त्यजात adishanam त्यजात्म देहादौ vasati tyaja atmadishanam. Living in this body, give up the identification of I am this body, atmadishanam. Prajna kurushva atmani. Place your attention, place your clear focus and attention on the self, on the Atman. Tvam drashta asyam asya malopi. Tvam drashta asya malaha api nirdvaya param brahmasi. Tvam drashta asya malaha api nirdvaya param brahmasi yad vastutaha. In reality, tvam drashta, you are the seer, asya amalaha, this untainted, nirdvaya, non-dual, param, the supreme, Brahma. Brahma means that I, the self, Asi, am, Yad Vastutaha. In reality, you are the witness of that reality, the truth called Brahman. The witnessing reality is you in reality. So give up all these attachments, give up all the unwanted identifications that serve no purpose, and be in that presence, in that reality that you already are. You are the witness. Be as that witness, be as that reality, experience a reality. And the next, tomorrow, what we are going to see is verses 379 to 383, the techniques of meditation to be in that state of samadhi. We will continue tomorrow. And with this, the Shravana Sadhana of this Vivekachoodamani for this month will come to an end. Om Sarvesham Swastirbhavatu Sarvesham Shantirbhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Har Namah Parvati Pataye. Har Har Mahadeva. Hari Om.